live. Discord notification. There we go. Send that one. Oh, right. There we go. Okay. Oh. 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 Hello. 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 How's everyone doing today? Let's. Ooh. Did I? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we're good. No, you go back in here. I screwed up. I screwed up. I screwed up. I screwed up. I gotta find a bit for my LTT sort of screwdriver. Where did I put it? Oh no. Well, we're gonna do some digging. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing today? It's Friday. I got a hair in my mouth. Downside of having a beard, every now and then you get a hair in your mouth, and it's super annoying. Yeah. How is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? It's Friday. It's Friday. Nice, relaxing, easy stream today. We're gonna get the FlashForge Adventurer 5M back up on the bench. We did our initial look at it on, was it Saturday? Friday or Saturday? I can't remember. Either way, we're gonna carry on with that because apparently I kind of screwed up the way you can make it talk to Octoprint or Orca Slicer without having to put custom firmware on it. I'm kind of hoping I don't have to mess around with the printer, to be honest. I kind of want to. It already has Clipper on it. For those that don't know, it already has Clipper on it. It just, they didn't install the web UI, but apparently you could still control it through Octoprint. Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Also, hey, are you a member of the channel or a Patreon supporter? You probably know what's going on. If you're not, there's now a channel on the Discord. I set it up a little while ago. But if you want to see behind the scenes, like skunkwork project stuff that I'm working on before it goes public, and stuff that I'm not teasing on Twitter and whatnot, yeah, we're working on stuff. So, gonna hide that. Put this over here so I can actually have room to work on stuff today. Fun fact: working in a garage when everything's a mess kind of sucks. But I can finally move again, so I can actually work on stuff. So that's good. Yep. Boeing landing gear. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I screwed up. I had to borrow a bit, a Twerks bit. So I took my normal bit out of here. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Woo. Okay, we're good. We are good. We're good. Sean, thank you for becoming a member. Cheers and appreciate it. I've been printing FlexiDrag. I had to, so for those that don't know, I'm testing the Mark IV's here. I'll probably do a video on it, but I want to get a bunch of print hours on it. So one thing I had to check was I needed it to do a run out. I needed it to run out of filament. So I've been printing a ton of stuff with like the blue filament. So I'm like, okay, I'll just keep printing with the blue filament till it runs out, and then I'll test the filament run out, which we know it works. It's a Prusa, but I still had to test it. The problem was, it took me 2.5 FlexiDragons. I'm like, there's barely any filament left on the spool. One FlexiDragon, it'll run out. And then I printed the FlexiDragon, and it finished. And I'm like, okay, it's got to run out this time. So I printed it again, and then it finished. And then on the third time, it finally ran out of filament, and I did a filament swap. And hey, it worked just fine because, you know, it's a Prusa. So I've got a bunch of FlexiDragons now. And then also, I printed that two-part, this thing that's like super kind of trendy right now. So it actually looks really cool when it doesn't line up, but then it lines up. Oh, it can actually go right through. I did not know that. Oh, if you don't do it the right way, it doesn't line up right. Ah, so let's try this one. Nope. Nope. Wait, is there supposed to be a certain way this goes together, or am I missing something? Am I missing something here? There we go. There we go. And then also, how does it handle overhangs? This was printed without support. This was printed without any support material. So if you're wondering how the Mark IV-S handles overhangs, this was printed, this was just a random file I found on Thingiverse. And I'm like, that looks like it would be a pretty good test to see how it handles overhangs. And it just prints like that without overhangs. So, yeah, I'm liking it so far. I'm liking it so far. And the fact that I can, you know, it's got the app. Actually, I haven't used the app at all, but I've been using the web UI to upload prints to it and whatnot remotely, which has been really nice to be able to do on a Prusa finally. I know you've been able to do it for a bit, but just, it's nice that it's like baked now. It's like kind of, it's working the way you expect it to, kind of. That's like the easiest way I could describe the Prusas. They just work the way you expect a 3D printer to work. It's kind of hard to, yeah, there's better bang for your buck out there. Like if you're, you know, it's hard to, you know, compare this to an A1. Yeah, it's the A1's a lot cheaper, but it depends a lot on your use case and what you kind of want out of the printer, and to be honest, how long you expect to have the printer. It's kind of hard to, I'm trying to figure out how to word it properly in a way that doesn't sound fanboy. It just seems like, yeah, it's a reasonable expectation. Like it works the way you kind of expect them to work, in a manner you expect them to work, without like assuming. Like it doesn't like hold your hand and go, no, this is the way you need to do it. It's kind of like if you come from 3D printers, you know how to run this 3D printer. Whereas like there's like a kind of a trend right now in the industry to like, no, you're going to do it our way, and that's the only way we allow you to do it. I'm not liking that trend. So I'm hoping more companies don't go that way. Make some room here so I can put the Prusa somewhere so I can get the FlashForge back on the bench. The back stop. Well, I just put the box of plastic parts. Tomorrow we're going to carry on with this. By the way, for those wondering, the plan is for the next couple of streams. It's raining today. The plan today, we were going to stream outside. We're going to stream outside. We're going to do an outdoor stream today, but it's raining. So today was kind of, I woke up and it's raining. It's like, I don't want to carry on with the build because I'd rather do this on the Saturday night. So this will be tomorrow night. We're carrying on with the Seabor all-wheel drive. Next week, I don't know if it'll be the Tuesday or the Friday, we're going to start the actual Prusa build. There'll be that. There'll be an outdoor stream if, again, weather permitting. And then maybe MMU3 at some point. We'll put an MMU3 on this. And then after next week, there won't be I'll be in Seattle. We'll figure it out from there. We'll figure it out from there. Also, fun fact, for those that don't know, Prusa boxes aren't square. Boxes of Prusa filament, they're not square. You can't, like, if they're in a box this way, you can't take it out of the box, rotate it, and put it back in. They don't fit. It's kind of annoying. Okay. Prusa, go on the floor. Open the door, get on the floor. Everyone want the dinosaur. Go. Yeah. Am I going to Smurf again? So as of right now, ERF is a go. I've got a sponsor lined up. I got to send the invoice still, but I got the hotel room and everything booked for ERF, or 3D Printopia, or ERFtopia, whatever we're calling it. So that is a go. Smurf, I need to get a sponsor. I can't make it work without a sponsor, and I'm working on that right I would love to go to Smurf. I don't have anything booked yet though for it, because I can't really do that until I'm for sure got a sponsor, because it's like Earth, okay, hotel costs. I'll book it all, then I'll get a sponsor, and I got that. Same with like Midwest Rep Fest or like the local stuff. Smurf is like $1,000 for the flight, $1,000 for like hotel, or probably actually not. Well, actually, once you convert British pounds to Canadian, then yeah. So it's like, it gets expensive really quick to fly across the ocean into England and book all that stuff. So it's one of those things you don't start paying for until you know you're covered. So I need to figure out a sponsor for Smurf. Yeah. But I will be at 3D Printopia. If all goes well, I'll have one, maybe two things to do. I don't have a booth or anything there. There is no Voron booth there. I think it's just me and Steve going again from the Voron team, plus anyone who happens to be local who just kind of shows up. There's not going to be an official Voron presence at Smurf or at Earth. Pretty much the only trade shows you'll see official Voron presences at going forward is Rocky Mountain, Smurf in England, and that's about it. Maybe like anything in the Bay Area too. Anything in the Bay Area, because Steve and Max are there. So Bay Area stuff still. But yeah, let's get a power cable here. Because fun fact, it's, you know, Voron's a non-profit, so it costs a lot of money to actually fly a team out to events and whatnot. Power on. It's in Manchester, so yeah, the hotel's cheaper. The problem is the flights are actually more. Let me take a look at you. Windsor to Manchester, UK flight. Windsor, Ontario to Manchester, UK. It's December. It's like the weekend of like the 7th and 8th, right? So it's a little jingle. So let's say I fly out the Thursday and I fly back the Monday. Show flights. Yeah, so the problem is you can't get a direct flight. And by direct flight, I mean like on Air Canada. So it's like, let's see here. So the cheapest flight, oh my God. Yeah, the problem is it's all like 3-stop flights. It's like really crappy flights. Tuesday, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, it's like 1,400 Canadian for the flights, and the flights are like 2-3 stops, 16 hours each to the layovers. It's flying into London was nice because I flew from Windsor to Toronto and then nonstop Toronto to London. That's a pretty busy route. It's a pretty busy route. Going to Manchester is a direct flight. The problem is there's a lot of flights that go to London because London is a hub. So like the flight that I took for Air Canada, literally the plane goes Toronto, London, Mumbai in India. So India, London, Toronto, Toronto, London, India. It just does this. The flight does that. So it's easy to get a flight from there to there because the plane's always doing this. But Manchester, nobody goes to Manchester and then on to somewhere else. You go to Manchester, go to Manchester. So Air Canada doesn't run a flight from Toronto to Manchester, apparently. So I have to like fly like Lufthansa into like Charles de Gaulle and then fly up to Manchester. So it's not actually easier to get out of. Try out of Detroit. Let me see here. The problem is last Detroit to Manchester, UK. Hey, go inside. You can't be out here. Go inside.
I'm watching you.
Is Mama watching me? Hi, Mama. Okay, no, you go inside. No, you go inside. You're still in your PJs. Let's get dressed. Let's take a looky-loo here. So fly out the Thursday, fly back the Monday. Ooh, Iceland Air. So there's Iceland Air. That leaves at... That's a direct flight, I think. So that's Detroit. That's a 10-hour flight. Oh, one stop. So that's Detroit to Iceland, and then an hour and 30-minute layover, and then Iceland to Manchester. Okay, that's that. So take that flight, and then on the way back is like, yeah, the flight back is leave Manchester at noon and come back at like 6 p.m. on like the Tuesday. It's a long flight. Don't fly Frontier. Smurf trip. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, I got to figure out a sponsor still. Like, I don't have anything booked for Smurf. I got IRF is booked, but I drive for IRF. So that's the cost of a hotel and incidentals and fuel. So it's not too bad getting a sponsor for that. Getting a sponsor for Smurf is it's a spicy ticket. Okay, let's fuck around with this thing. Okay, so apparently, what we're doing today, we're gonna fiddle around with the FlashForge adventure, because apparently you can get this to talk to Octoprint. I just went about it wrong, or Orca Slicer. If the Voron team brings a massive printer, please let me know so I can bring a projector so I can watch movies. I don't think we're bringing the Phoenix. The Phoenix that was brought last year was to give away at the auction. It was actually, we finished building it at E3D in England. I don't think we're bringing the big printer this year. Also, it's Voron, not Vorlon. English! Babylon 5. Oh god, Babylon 5. That's a show I think I tried to get into Babylon 5 once, and I think it's too old. It was too old for me. Okay, the fact that I have to turn the Wi-Fi on every time I boot the machine up is kind of annoying. It's like, yeah, you're connected. It's network mode. Static IP, Wi-Fi. Okay, give me my Wi-Fi info. What am I doing? So apparently, Octo Clipper. Apparently, if you set this to a certain way, it'll work. Somebody was telling me you have to have it set for the right version, but I don't really see. Somebody was telling me, oh, hey, you just need to change the mode and it'll work. And I don't know what mode they were talking about, because it's like you have Octo Clipper and it's not working. Yeah, 188, yeah. Set to FlashForge. Okay. So it's connected to Flash. Oh, I guess that makes sense. This is a FlashForge. Okay. So it seems to be working. Okay. So now let's unload the filament. Filament load. I want to unload. How do I unload? Okay. How do I? No. TLA. No, I want to unload the filament. How do I unload the filament? Home. How do I unload the filament? I've got a load button. Where's the load? Oh, select the filament and start according to the PLA. Okay, pull out the guide. Okay, so I think this is the unload macro. Start heating. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Pull out the guide tube and cut the filament. Wait, what? Pull out the guide the guide tube and cut off the filament. Replace the filament in the guide tube with the new one. Click start. After the previous filament is extruded, insert the new filament. Oh! Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so we pull this up. So this doesn't clip in. This is just a friction fit. So we cut that. Okay. Take the old filament out. We are going to try something today. We are going to print with, oh, this will work. PLA Galaxy Green from Prusa. Why? Because I have it. Speaking of Prusa filament, if you want to win some Polymaker filament, enter for your chance. Link in the video description. Every stream, we give away a spool of Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance to win. Do this now. Okay. So, what are you doing? What are you doing? Heating, loading. Okay. Oh, so now I can't see. Where's the hole? And there we go. So it just extrudes out the old filament and then sucks the new filament in. Oh, that's cool. That's an easy way to do it. That's an easy way to do it. You just cut the filament, it purges out what's left of it, and you just feed the new one in. It shows violence. Got to keep it interesting. There we go. Okay. So that's done. Okay. So. Okay, so that's a bit of waste filament. It does waste a bit, but not a crazy amount. Device. So the problem is it still doesn't give you a web UI. That is really annoying. That is really annoying that even though you can remote monitor it, you can't. Was it Scandic? There you go, Scandic plate. That is really annoying. That even though, wow, that's plate's really big on this. Okay, cool. So default profile, generic PLA, slice. Checking if supports are necessary. No, no support. No, no support. No support. Support. No support. Remove small overhangs. Get rid of that. I don't want you cheating. Default settings for PLA. And yes, the camera's probably going to wig out. Take this chance to buy some gamer subs. Use code Canuck and save 10%. Okay. So, this is the cool new torture test that people are doing. This is a 70-degree overhang print. Print. Upload and print. Let's see, how does this work? Completed. Downloading. Okay. Ready to go. It's doing stuff. Oh, that's why. Ooh, that's why. Something was scratching my eye. It was a hair that was stuck in my glasses poking into my eye. I don't believe SSH works until you update it with the unlocked firmware. That is kind of really annoying. I'm gonna fire off an email to him. I fired off one email, but I didn't get a reply, so I'm gonna fire off like an actual inquiry email. And be like, hey, what's going on here? Why do we not have the web UI? Like, why do we not have the web UI? That is something I'm genuinely curious about. Why they disabled the web UI. That's something that I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Because let's be honest, a web UI is kind of, if you have a machine with Clipper on it, the web UI is part of the machine. Like, if you're taking Clipper and you're ripping out the web UI portion of Clipper, Why? To reduce CPU. The thing is, Lee Smith, that's not a valid argument because let's be honest. If a Raspberry Pi Zero can handle the web UI on Clipper, and I'm not even talking about like a 02, an original Zero can handle Clipper web UI just fine. You don't need, and even then, if you're gonna fiddle with the web UI, like at least keep some of the functionality. Like you have a webcam in here. So if you have a webcam, the webcam itself takes up more resources than the web UI, if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of like, what are you even doing? Like, what are you planning? Like, what's going on here? I'm just trying. I don't know why they would disable the web UI. It's such an integral part of Clipper. Like, that's one of the reasons Clipper got so popular so quick, was because holy shit, web UI. Like a generic, just a web UI that just worked. Clipper doesn't have a web UI. Okay, so yes, we're getting into semantics there. Yes, Clipper itself does not have a web UI. However, somebody, if you're in the audience here and you rolled your own Clipper install on a printer, who here did not bother to install the web UI? Yes, Clipper itself does not include the web UI. You have Clipper, and then you have the API layer, which is Moonraker, and then you have a web UI, which can be Octoprint, like we used back in the oldie days before Mainsail and Fluid were developed, which are dedicated Clipper web UIs. So those web UIs talk through the API layer Moonraker that talk to Clipper. So yes, technically Clipper doesn't have a web UI. However, it's a package. It's a package. You pretty much always are going to have the web UI if you're installing Clipper in any way, any guide, it comes with the web UI. So to not have the web UI, in my opinion, is a major why. The rooted Clipper for the A5M Strubbles, it was removed because it cut costs on hardware. I've had my rooted name crash more than a few times. So can we SSH into this thing? Does anyone know what the password is for this? Does anyone know? It'd be what, like, what would be the password for this? Or can you even SSH into this? Can you even SSH into this? It's the same as your luggage. Yep. Yeah, they've disabled the SSH. You can't even SSH in. Well, I am running the newest firmware. Or at least when we unboxed this last week, the first thing it did was update the firmware over the Wi-Fi. So we are running FlashForge Adventure 5M Pro. Okay, let's support Adventurer Series A5M Pro. Yeah, it's just over Wi-Fi. Just install the Clipper mod. Well, here's the thing. I kind of don't want to. For my thinking is, I hope you're agreeing with me here. My thinking is this is a pretty cheap machine. At least the base model is. This is the Pro model. And it's like, it should just work out of the box. I think something like this should just work out of the box. Try to add it to another machine. I could try that. Let's take a look here. Right, Big Papa Joey P. Let's printers. Let's try and add a printer. Printer, add printer. Host name. we're gonna call it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not working. Not working. PF Dennis gifted 10 community memberships. Cheers and appreciate it. Thank you. Kind of does work out of the box. It just doesn't do everything. It does, and that's the thing. Like the fact that I can still upload to it remotely is at least something. It's missing out that, you know, that one thing it should have, which is the ability to actually monitor the printer remotely. Because what's the point if you don't have if you have a webcam, if you can't access the webcam feed? Like, yes, I know you can access it through probably their slicer, but I don't want to install your slicer. Also, I can't put your slicer on my phone. At least with like Mainsail and Fluid, I could just pull up my phone, type in the IP address, and boom, I could check my prints. Without the app, without the actual like file installed on your computer, you can't monitor the printer. So that's kind of like, what the heck? What the heckles? So, easy to unlock, yeah. I know you can easily unlock it. You know what we might do? I'm gonna let this print run for a bit. And then maybe at the end of the stream, we'll try unlocking it. To see what we get, because it doesn't look too hard. You want to install this mod, then be aware that you risk losing your warranty or damage. Yeah. So it shouldn't be too hard. I just kind of I want to put more hours on its stock, put it that way. I want to get more hours on its stock before we start changing it. Soon. Not goon. What the? There. Soon by Voron. This is a one-of-a-kind Voron shirt. Because this shirt we made for, I think, like Rocky Mountain like 2 years ago. This was not like this year's Rocky Mountain. It was previous year's Rocky Mountain. So we had these shirts made. They're just Soon by Voron design, available on blurred date. The problem was, the shirt's supposed to be black. Well, I was doing laundry a while ago, and I accidentally brought a bunch of clothes in the laundry room and spilt bleach on the floor, and I put the clothes on the floor. So this shirt had like a little like bleach stain somewhere on it. So I was like, oh, that kind of ruined the shirt. So I'm like, you know what? I just went and like tie-dyed it. So I'm like, cool, custom shirt. Can I focus this camera? Please tell me I can adjust the focus on this camera. I cannot adjust the focus on this camera. That's not good. You can't adjust the focus on this camera. Okay. Yeah, it's a custom one-of-a-kind shirt now. YouTube. Chris, yeah, you can't post links in on YouTube chat. You'd have to post it in the Discord. Oh yeah, there we go. 1 second here. 1 second here. That. 1 second here. 1 second here. Copy this. Copy this. Oh man, I need to get better glasses. My glasses are falling apart. There we go. There we go. We'll just use this camera for monitoring the print. There we go. So yeah, you could still monitor it remotely. You just have to know the IP address and all that to get in. Because unfortunately, you can't just... You can't just do that and get Clipper, but you can do that and get the web UI. So it's kind of like, it's kind of weird. It's like you can access the webcam feed, but you can't access the web UI. It's like, what the heck, guys? What the heck? So we'll let this go for like an hour or so and see how the overhang's coming out. Then what I'll do is I will install the custom web UI, or the actual proper web UI, and then we'll run it again and see how it handles. I want to try. I don't really think you'll see much of a you're not going to see any difference in print quality. That's the thing. You're not going to see your slicer has more impact on your slicer settings have more impact on how a print turns out than your firmware. As long as the firmware's set up right. Like if your extruder E steps are off, then yeah, it's going to be bored. But I mean, like, as long as your firmware is up to, like, properly configured, when you update your firmware, you don't see any difference in print quality. So we shouldn't see any change by going to custom firmware. You get quality of life changes. That's the big thing. Your actual quality of life improves. So, hey, do you have a go-to print camera location? Wherever it is on the printer. I prefer cameras that have a big enough view of the print volume. I don't like nozzle cameras. They're cool, but I don't like using them to actually monitor prints because you can't monitor the print. Because, like, even a camera like this isn't too bad. What I prefer cameras that you can see the whole print volume. Simply for the fact that, especially aimed low looking up, because where do prints fail? They warp. That is like the most common way a print fails. If it fails higher up on the print, it's usually pretty noticeable because you start getting spaghetti. So if you're looking at a print like this, you could see if it's warping off the bed. You could see if it's making spaghetti. Like, you've got a pretty good view of what's going on. Whereas some printers have like the camera at the top of the enclosure looking down. Like I have it in, shoot, which one is it? Is it online? The Pantheon. Yeah, the Pantheon. Let me pull up the Pantheon here. Printers. Let's pull up the Where is the Pantheon? Are you the Pantheon? No, you're not the Pantheon. Printers. Where is Mirthful Bobcat? There it is. Yeah. So this is the view on the Pantheon. Okay. So the problem is here, as it prints, the bed drops. 1 second here. Oop, nope. There we go. So as it prints, the bed drops. Okay. So you can't see the bed right now. Okay. Like the bed's coming up here. You'll see it in a second. The webcam on it, it's not the fastest frame rate. Good quality, but the frame rate's kind of eh. So the problem is you can't really see the whole print volume as you print. So I haven't had any issues, but what can happen is, you know, your print starts warping 2-3 hours into the print, and then you don't have a good view on your first layer. You don't know. It might be warping, and you'd be like, if you saw it warp, you're like, shoot, shut it down, we'll start over. But if you don't see it warping, you know, you do a little check before going to bed. Oh, the print looks fine. You go to bed, you wake up, and the part's unusable because the bottom warped the heck, or it came off the bed. Like, it depends. Yes, the polymaker giveaway is pinned. It's always there. The main problem with this printer is 108 megabytes of usable system memory. Ooh. That little? That's kind of... They went really cheap on the controller. Like, I get why they went cheap. Yeah, think about it. You know, a Raspberry Pi is going to cost you what? 50, 60 bucks? The base model of this machine is like 200 and something. So you got to somehow get the price of the controller board. That's the problem with 3D printers, is getting cheap 3D printers. If you're running Clipper, you now need to have a Linux system on a chip, compatible system on a chip in your printer. That adds like 50 bucks right there. You can't avoid that. Like, that's kind of the problem. Like that's kind of the problem you run into, is you kind of, That's why, like, super cheap printers, there's a good argument to not bother putting clipper on them, because even like I've got the whatchamacallit off screen here that I can't show you because it's being saved for a video. The printer bot I'm fiddling with. It's like I got to figure out what controller to put in it, and it's like part of me just wants to put like a basic duet controller, just a single board duet controller. But it's like I kind of want clipper because I'm so used to clipper and how easy it is to fiddle with clipper. But adding clipper means, okay, now I need to put up a Raspberry Pi in it, which bumps the cost up. And it's like, so. Low-end printers are a terribly price-sensitive market. They are. Pretty much the only way to make it work is if you just build dog shit cheap stuff. Like how many companies bank their entire existence on just shitting out V-Wheel Bedflinger clones of Enders till the end of time. Or you sell something where you don't have to worry about the profit. There's really two ways to go about entry-level 3D printers. You either sell something where you either sell it at a loss as a loss leader, or you have some other way to offset the costs, or you just happen to be pumping out enough volume to make up for it, or you just do really cheap clones. It really depends on what you're trying to get out of the market. Try figuring out. You can do that, Dougal. You can do that. The problem is now you have two printers that have to be next to each other always forever. That's why I haven't done it. You could run multiple printers off a Raspberry Pi. You could run like 3 or 4 printers off like a Raspberry Pi 4 or 5. It'll work. People have done it. You just have to have separate instances of Clipper. It can be done, and people have done it. The problem is now you need to have multiple printers that are always next to each other. So if you're setting up a print farm, okay, it kind of can make sense because then you can have like 2 or 3 printers, Raspberry Pi, 2 or 3 printers, Raspberry Pi. You can gang them together in a print farm. But if you're like someone like me or a hobbyist or whatever, it's like, okay, I got 2 Vorons that are running on the same Raspberry Pi. They have to be a USB cable's lengths away from each other forever. I can't have one over there, one over there. Oh, I want to bring this one over. No, they have to be together always. So it's one of those things. You can get an orange pie. The problem with orange pies is the same problem with as these machines. You are not running the main install of Linux. You have to usually install a custom fork somehow of either a different repository of Linux, or you're deviating from standard. Okay, so it may not be a huge issue, but like, put it this way, my Voron V1 is running Clipper with an Orange Pi 02. I bought an AliExpress Orange Pi 02 kit. I put Clipper on it. It works pretty good. The problem is the OS that's running, the Linux install that is running, I downloaded it off a Google Drive from a Chinese company. Just mull that over. It's probably fine. I hope. I think. But like, what kind of security updates am I getting? Am I getting security updates? Am I getting any sort of updates? Was there anything done to that Linux install before I downloaded it off of a Google Drive? Does it work though? Yeah. And as of right now, my credit card information remains unstolen, but who knows? System security, for those that have been paying attention, network and system security have been like massive issues. How many times have you seen hospitals get hacked, or countries get hacked, or, you know, what is it? Every American just had their social security number leaked or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these massive companies are getting hit with these cyber attacks. Do you really trust generic Chinese company number 42878 that changes their name 4 times a year to keep an up-to-date, safe, secure version of Linux for their $20 SoCs they sell. Like, at least if you're running like normal Clipper, you're running a normal mainline open source version of Linux that, you know, people have checked, and you've got a bit of like security there. Okay, you've got some stuff's under control, but like, again, that's why like Orange Pi's, like Jeff Gerling did a good video on it, where he's talking about Raspberry Pi alternatives. This was during the Raspberry Pi shortage, where it's like, yeah, there's all these alternatives out there that sometimes have much better hardware for the same price as a Raspberry Pi. The problem is they just suck when it comes to software support and feature implementation. It's like, hardware-wise, yeah, they're good. They can't do shit, though, without like some weird one-off custom, never updated install. Like honestly, you're almost like better off buying like an old laptop, installing like Ubuntu on it, and then using Kiao to install Clipper. Like, you're almost better off doing that. The problem is, now what you've saved in, you know, instead of buying a Raspberry Pi, you hit up a Goodwill and you bought like a $15 laptop. Cool. I guarantee you this uses a lot less power than that $15 laptop you bought at Goodwill. And I bet you in like a year, the cost difference, because you're spending more on power, kind of, they'll even out. Especially if you go with like one of the, like an older desktop that doesn't have like, modern computers can like power down pretty low when they're not in heavy use. Like they ramp down CPU cycles. Like they turn down the accelerator when they're just chilling. But older computers didn't do that. Older computers, they just, oh, we're a 3 gigahertz Pentium D. Yeah, let's go, buddy. Cook that. It's amazing how much efficiency has increased in life. Oh, it's nuts. Like, I got my my framework. I got a framework 13 now, which I've got that all set up with Linux, and it's like, I was used to my, like, when I would travel, I had my T470S, right? I just went on a family vacation. I brought my T470S, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch a live stream, right? You know, everyone's in bed. I'm a night owl, so everyone's in bed. I'm at a cottage by myself. Everyone's asleep. I got nothing on TV. I'll watch a live stream on Twitch or whatever. 2 hours in, battery's dead. And it's like, that sucks, but I guess that's what it is. And now it's like I got a framework 13 that's way more powerful than the T470. It's got an 8-core AMD in it, 32 gigs of RAM, 32 terabyte hard drive. Yeah, that goes like 6-7 hours watching a stream. And I'm like, oh yeah. And a Mac will go longer, but a Mac, you pay for it in being, you know, part of a cult or something. I don't know. Winning on an RPI 03. That would be cool. That'd be nice. I really wish, where is my Pi Zero? I have one over here somewhere. I really wish they made a Pi Zero with a full-size USB port. Like, just make a Pi Zero and just have a full-size USB port on it, or two, one on each end or something. That'd be cool. My favorite one that they made was the 3B. I wish they made more 3Bs. The 3B was nice because it was smaller than the 3, but it still had all the power almost. So I wish they made like a 5B for like systems where it's like, I don't need all this crazy stuff. Just give me the chip and a USB port. A CM5. CM5 will be nice. So can anyone else hear the clicking? You can see it bending down the fans as it goes. The square one? Yeah, it's the square one. Yeah, it's 1 second here. RPI 3B. Not 3B, 3A. Hardware. i5. Where's the 3A? This guy. That's the Model 1. Oh, where's the 3A? This guy. 3A. I wish they made this again, but with like the 5. Make this, but with a 5. So. I have one. It's in Toasty Boy, actually. Toasty Boy has one in it. I could use a detail and structural profile setting. That's how Prusa Slicer does it now. I actually like how Prusa does it now, where they have their speed settings. You have speed and structural. You don't have like draft, or they might still have draft, but they have like, they separate their profiles by like, I just want this fast or I want this strong. Like those are their two profiles. And the strong profile is like just a little bit slower with, I think, more walls and infill. What is the test file? So this is the Scandic plate, which is the test file that recently became popular because it's included with the Prusa Mark IV-S. It's this guy. So it's a plate. It's a little like a little dish, but it prints flat on your bed, and that's a pure 70-degree overhang. Okay, so this was printed on a Prusa Mark IV and PLA. Mark IV-S, sorry. So it's a very good model for just judging how good your printer is at cooling. And how, like, because here, this will be a really good example of it. Because we got the freaking blowimetron blowing from the one side here. So we got the blowimetron blowing across. So this should give you a pretty good example of why having curtain air cooling is kind of like, it helps a bit, but I don't think it helps as much as some people think it does. At least if you only have it on one side. If you have it on two sides, it's not too bad, but then it's just loud as shit. So. The clicking sound I'm hearing is, you can see the little tabs constantly get bent down. Like the little fringes. But you can already see, I don't know if you could see it on the camera. It's warping differently on each side. The one side of the print is noticeably more crisp than the other side of the print. You don't think the X1 will do it well? Do I have PLA loaded in my X1? I have no idea. Printer. Bambu Lab X1. X1 carbon. Discard. Okay. Device. Oh, wait, you're not logged in. Why am I not logged in? No. There you go, connect. I don't have PLA loaded in it. Let me load some PLA in the Bambu. Where is some generic PLA? Let's do this. Let's just do. No. I want PLA. I want PLA. I don't want to use a fancy PLA. I just want a generic PLA. I should have a generic PLA somewhere. There we go. Generic Jesse Premium PLA, Army Green. Okay. This is gonna be annoying. I got way too much. I'm stepping on something, but I don't know what. No, get in your hole. Come on. There. There you go. Okay. So device. So that is loading. Do I have anything on the bed? No, bed's clean for the most part. I don't know what the 5 means. What's the 5? Current humidity, wet. No shit, Sherlock. It's open to the air. You are PLA. I'm just gonna put generic PLA or polylight PLA, close enough. And you are green. I don't think they have. Yeah, I'll just do polylight PLA. I'm assuming, or you know what? We'll do bamboo. We'll do bamboo PLA. Bamboo PLA. Metal set. Why do they have so many different PLAs? Bamboo PLA basic. Confirm. Okay. So prepare. Sync data. Resync. Where is change filament? You are PLA basic. You're going to play with the standard profile and PLA, that textured plate. I'm using whatever the stock settings are. Slice plate. Let's see this. Bigger studio. I do the work on stuff. Go. Okay. Print plate. Send. Wow, that's looking ugly. Two things that I find super annoying. You ever come across a YouTube channel where they just make stuff? Right now I'm on a kick with like YouTube channels where they like build campers. Where they take like little like Japanese K trucks or vans or whatever and they turn them into campers, or they build campers for their truck. That's kind of like my, when it's late at night, everyone's asleep and I'm like bored, like content I consume. It's just people making stuff like that. Do you know how annoying it is when it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this super cheap and easy, and then they pull into their like fully kitted out garage and they bust out the MIG welder? You know how annoying it is when it's like, oh yeah, you could do this too. Just pull into your 10,000 square foot garage and get your $15,000 Miller welder next to your, you know, your Haas CNC. That's what this project is. The project I'm working on right now with the wheel that you saw at the beginning of the stream, I'm trying to avoid that. I want to make something that's cool that anyone can do without needing like the CNC. Like I have a CNC. I've got the Milo. I actually fiddled with it the other day. I've got the Milo. I've got a laser. They're not crazy, but I got them. And it's like, I don't want to use them for this, at least right now. I'm hoping I can get by using nothing but recycled parts, ingenuity, commercial off-the-shelf stuff, and stuff printed in $300 spools of filament on my $12,000 Pantheon. I'm using the CFP ETG for the parts because I have a whole bunch of it. And it's expensive, but not expensive enough for me to cry when I screw up. And you know what's a fun fact? When you design a part, okay, look at this. I actually catted this. I designed this. Look, it actually kind of, it looks somewhat competent. I designed this. Anyways, it works better when you zero your scale. So don't just like pick up your scale and assume it's zeroed and start measuring stuff. And it's like, okay, that's a 10 mil hole. That's 8 mil there. And you start measuring. Yeah, make sure you zero it before you do that. Otherwise, everything ends up 2 millimeters off. Yeah. Are you gonna start working on something, Bamboo? Are you just gonna sit there and think? Are you thinking? What are you thinking about? Are you pooping? Good, Bamboo, go poop. Okay. By the way, I don't have a poop box behind my Bamboo, and I haven't moved it in like a while. Granted, I haven't been doing multicolor on it, but it still poops every print. I don't want to know what's behind it right now. Old school. Okay, yes. Okay, yes. Analog verniers are kind of cool because you don't have to worry about zero. But guess what you can't do with an analog vernier? Okay, I'm measuring stuff. Oh wait, shit, this is inch. Boom. Oh, now we're in inches. Oh, okay, fractions. Nobody uses fractions, but still. The fact that I can, you know, I'm building something. I'm in Canada, eh? Fun fact about Canada, we use both. If you go to a hardware store, most of the stuff you're going to find is Imperial. You're not going to find metric screws. You can find them, but they're like that one drawer that's always covered in dust at the end is where the metric stuff is. So a lot of stuff in North America is still an inch. So it's nice to be able to go, okay, that's 8mm. What is that, an inch? Okay, so I need a drill bit because all my drill bits are inches. So, yeah. And it's just quicker. It's just quicker. It's like, okay, how wide is that? Okay. Oh. Like what? Okay, 12 mil. So, I mean, I've got. I don't know where I put it. Oh, they're downstairs. I've got analog verniers. They're just downstairs. The camera's not working on my Bambu. That's great to know. Ooh, this is getting messy. This is getting messy. You could see the right side where you don't have the current air cooling is really, really shit in the bed. It's gonna be interesting to see how the Bambu handles it. I'm printing with the door closed on the Bambu, by the way. You know what? I'll open the door. I will open the door to give it a fair shot. $5M Pro, it's got a few quirks. They said they're gonna send me. I want to play with the base model. I'm actually more interested in the cheap version of this because it's cheap and it does the same thing. It's just open frame. It doesn't have a part cooling, or doesn't have a cross current fan, which, as we're seeing right here, isn't doing too much. Honestly, current air fans, I think, are a gimmick. Unless you're chasing speed benchies, the money that you put into putting that curtain air fan in, I'd much rather you have put it into a better duct and a better fan on the tool head, because that gives you better, more direct cooling where you need it, instead of just shotgunning it with a freaking Hoover. Thoughts on those aftermarket cooling ducts for the X1C? I mostly print ABS on my... most of my machines, I mostly print ABS. The machines that I print PLA on are my open air machines, like my Prusa and like the XL and whatnot. Those are my PLA machines. So if I'm printing ABS, I'm only running the fan at like 20 or 30% anyways. So more efficient ducts don't really get you much in my case, I find. Like, when you're barely blowing air, okay, this duct is more efficient, cool, I could just go from 20 to 25% and get the same amount of air movement. That is looking ugly as shit. Now, what filament is this? Just to make sure we're fair, it's, I think it's Galaxy Green. It's a Galaxy Green, so it is a sparkle filament, but I really don't think that would affect overhangs that much. I don't think a Galaxy filament would affect overhangs that much, don't you think? If anything, it'd be like a shittier version of carbon fiber, where it actually helps it a bit. PLA plus PTG save $200. Yeah, on the base model. I was telling you, I know somebody who recently re-kitted out their print farm with nothing but Adventurer 5Ms, like the base model. They had a bunch of Creality K1 and P1 series machines, and they got rid of them. And they went with all Adventurer 5Ms. Why? They're cheap and they work. There is something to something just being simple and cheap, and it works. Are you going to finally do something, Bambu? Are you still doing your little dance? It's now at the... oh, now you're going to the back? Are you going to poop again? You got to poop? You do your purge line at the back. Okay. There you go. Now you're printing. Good job, Bambu. It only took you 10 minutes. That's what I talk about print quality is expect. You have to slow it like 40%. Yep. That's why this is a good test. Because here's the thing. Let's be honest. Most people just run with their printers the way they come. I think that, like, I build my own printers. I love building my own printers. Okay? We're continuing with the Seaboard tomorrow. I like building printers. I have fun building stuff. Okay? Majority of people, I'm assuming, they buy the printer, they unbox it, and they use the default profile. So, when you judge a printer, when you're critiquing a printer, it's more fair to judge the printer as it comes instead of like, okay, the printer's great only if you use this profile and you install this custom firmware and you put this mod on it. That's not the printer you got. The printer you got is this. This was what came out of the box. This is what they deemed is the profile. If the company that ships the printer doesn't take the time to have a decent profile for it, and like if that's how it comes, that's how it comes. It is what it is. And I think we got to start actually. I think reviewers have to start being more critical on commercial off-the-shelf printers and stop babying them. Like, if the printer comes out of the box and it's shit, and it's good once you do, like, you install some custom firmware and use some community mods and you use a community firmware, you're not judging the printer, you're judging the community. I'm getting, it's really annoying. I'm gonna say this while staring at the FL Sun S1. It's really annoying when these companies come out with a machine that, mechanically is okay, and then they completely shit the bed when it comes to the slicer and the firmware on it. And they do stuff that's stupid. Because you have a really good thing here, potentially, except for the fact it's loud as shit. It's just you completely shit the bed at the finish line. You got 90 meters into your 100-meter dash, and then you just started waving to the audience. Do better. So. Yeah. That's poopy looking. That is poopy looking. I never had a printer I didn't change any parts. Well, it's hard for me to say because, like, the Pantheon, I'm not doing a damn thing to. That runs exactly the way they tell me to run it because that's the kind of machine it is. But it works really good. The XL, I've done a few tweaks to the slicer settings, but other than that, I'm running it the way it comes. Same with my Mark IV. I'm running that the way it comes. The Bambu, I haven't changed any mechanically on it, but I do have the X1 Plus firmware on it. I did do the Hydra mod to the AMS, and I've tweaked some of the slicer settings. Maybe I can use the FL Sun as my soapbox stand. Well, it's already being used as a table. Like, literally, this is the FL Sun S1 right here. I'm using it as a table. I already did with a high flow nozzle. Yeah, the high flow nozzle is nice. The problem is I don't use the high flow nozzle because I don't print at the full speed. Because when you print at the full speed, the prints don't come out too good. That's just me. If you ever make a comparison video between the octopus and the spider, printed visions. Funny you should say that because was it you who left a comment on a video? Somebody left a comment on like my spider video asking for a comparison between the spider and the octopus. And I'm gonna make it really simple, okay? I'm not gonna review the two because at one point I had multiple printers with spiders in them and multiple printers with octopuses in them, okay? And I'm gonna make this really simple. I no longer have any printers with spiders in them. Now, I actually have printers with spiders in them because when I went on vacation, they like to make spider webs. So I've got, spider web everywhere. But in terms of the actual controller boards, I don't use Physx stuff, and I won't be. So take that as you will. Don't evict the Mark IV spider. No, that web actually got really big. That's a spider problem too. Well, normally we spray our house for spiders, but I don't think they came by this year. I gotta ask, because we pay like annually, and they just kind of come out twice throughout the year and spray the house. Okay, this print's gonna fail. I want this print to fail. I'm letting this go till fail. I want to see this fail. Curling more than a Gold's Gym. I understood that reference. What controller does the Seaboar use? I believe it's an Octopus. Or no, it's a Manta. It's a Manta M5 or M8P, and then they have a tool head board. Also Big Tree Tech. So. Why spray against spiders? They catch mosquitoes. Well, I'm not an outdoorsy person, or at least I'm not a person that hangs out in my backyard at night, so I don't really worry about mosquitoes. We get a ton of spiders around here, though. We get a ton of spiders. Like, my house is in a subdivision that used to be all farm field, so it's just spiders. Spiders and, like, what is it, centipedes. Or, yeah. Can the 70-degree plate be printed in ABS? I don't know. Actually, let's have some fun here. No, wait, no, that's that. Downloads. Dion does it. How much filament I wasted? 107 grams of filament. Ugh. Okay, let's drop that down. 15% filament. I don't want to waste the filament. 4 top, 4 bottom, 2 walls. There we go. There we go. Still 100 grams. Ugh. I guess it's all walls. Okay. Well, sending. And this is with CFP ETG, because that's what this machine has loaded. Why grid infill? I don't know. That's just the default. Oh, we're getting some tufts that are falling out. The print's still going on the bamboo, but we're just starting the overhang stuff, so we'll see how it goes. What's the thing with FISEC? Patents and business practices. We'll leave it at that. Wow, this print is looking like shit. I honestly want it to fail before we move on. Like, I don't want it to not finish. I want it to fail. Or actually, not patent, trademark. It's not something I really want to go into, but put it this way: the only FISEC kit I've built is the Trident Big Papa Joey P, and I had to replace all the electronics in it. So use CFP for CF non ABS for this. What would you say the best strengths? It depends on the use case. ABS is really nice for stout parts, like a Voron part or other printer parts that are like blocky and stout, that are in an environment where they're warm. But if you need to print something like long and slender, where you're relying a lot on like layer adhesion, then you might want to go with something like a nylon or a PETG. Again, it depends on the use case, the forces involved, the temperatures involved. Like, for example, the, I'm not going to name it. I have a name for it, but I'm not going to name it. The current ongoing project on the channel that I'm working on, which hopefully I might have a video on it this week before I head out. I know there hasn't been a video on the channel in 2 weeks. I know. Is this. You'll figure out what this is later. But this is a 10-inch hub motor, electric hub motor, okay? These are aluminum extrusions. I want to attach a hub motor to aluminum extrusions. Well, I don't want to machine something, and I don't want to have to use like send, cut, send. I want something I can do at home. So I printed some brackets to mount stuff. Well, I want something that's stiff and rigid, but isn't going to shatter on me. I'll see a PETG, hopefully. If it doesn't work, I'll move up to CF nylon. Who said it's a scooter? So yeah, so there you go. And guess what? This holds my weight. I can balance this end on like a box and stand on it, and no break. I'll talk more about it in the video. Actually, I'm just gonna put you over here for now. I'm gonna need you anyways. The unicycle. Looks like expensive healthcare to me. Good thing I'm Canadian. Just do peck on. Well, Toasty Boy can't do peak, but it can do peck. That's the backup. This print is trying. It is trying. By the way, again, for reference, just so you have a comparison here, just again for reference, this is how the Prusa did. This is how the Prusa did. Right? There's the bottom of the Prusa. Meanwhile, this guy. Is there any news on whether Saval has addressed the issues on the SV8 since launch? No clue. I don't have it anymore. I gave it away. Setting a new standard for overhangs. I'm going to call it a new standard. I just call. How do I word this? They focus on what matters instead of like. Think about it. Like, how do I word this? I'm trying to word this in a way that doesn't come off all fanboy and shit. Because I know some people are like, oh, he's a Prusa shell. Anyways, they focus on what the majority, let's be honest, what do the majority of people print? Trinkets and PLA. That's what the majority of people who have a 3D printer do with it. They print trinkets and PLA. Yeah, you print the odd thing. I got one beard here that's really poking me, sorry. Yeah, you print the odd thing that's kind of cool and whatnot, but let's be honest, the majority of people with a 3D printer, they print the meme shit in PLA. That's it. Speed isn't everything, too. Speed really isn't the end-all be-all. Like, I really think speed benchies have done more harm than good to the 3D printing community in the past couple years. Yes, we have gotten a speed bump, and there has been some cool tech that has developed along with it. The high-flow nozzles are really nice. The better part cooling, better ducting. There's a lot of things that have come along with the whole speed benchy craze. The problem is, I think it made people overemphasize speed. Because now you see a Prusa, and I look at it and go, okay, cool. It's a competent printer that prints things the way I like. It prints things accurately and good and reliably. But you got little Timmy there who's like been chugging the Kool-Aid, and it's like, well, it's slow. Well, not really. You can do a 14-minute speed benchy. It's not slow. But it's not a Core XY. It's not an enclosed Core XY. It's shit. Well, do you need Core? Why does it need to be Core XY? Well, it's fast. Yeah, but it's fast without being Core XY. Yeah, but it's a fine printer. Yes, it's a little pricey, Okay? So just come out and say it. Come out and say it. Every person from now on, any comment on any of my videos from Prusa, if you want to complain about the Prusa price, what you need to do is after you write your spiel about the price, you're very original, by the way. You're the first person to come up with a complaining about Prusa and the price. Just add it to the pile. Add your comment to the pile. I get enough of them. Put under there, okay, you're going to put a little tagline under there. Every time you leave a comment complaining about the price of the Prusa, go, I wish the company would fire all 1,000 of its employees, shut down all operations in the EU, and then move their entire production over to China so I can buy their machine at a lower quality at a cheaper price. So every time you complain about the price of the Prusa, you need to say that, because that's what you're saying, essentially. That I don't want to support a company that has well-paid employees in the EU. I want them to fire their employees so I can buy their shit cheap, because I'm cheap. Like, that's what you're saying, essentially. Prusa's the Apple. They're not the Apple, okay? Does Apple release the design files for their MacBooks? Like, so you can print replacement parts for it? No. Apple doesn't even sell replacement components half the time. And when they do, they're so marked up and they're not worth it. Like, let's be honest. Prusa is not the Apple of 3D printing. If anything, it's Bambu's the Apple of 3D printing. They're the ones with the lockdown ecosystem and the fancy Gucci design. Like, Prusa is not the Apple of... They're not even the Linux. Are you ready? You're comparing an operating system and a computer to a 3D printer. They're not the same market. You know, the FlashForge Adventurer is the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas multiplayer mod of 3D printers. Did you know that? And the LTT screwdriver is the Apple of tools. And by Apple, I mean fruit, not the company. And this vernier is the Makita of countries. They don't... Prusa isn't open source. Open source is dead in commercial 3D printing. Let's be honest. What is open source? Hi! Look at Voron. Voron's fully open source. You know what happens when Voron's open source? Every company sells kits for it. They don't do any work. They just, okay, this is the bomb. Okay. Go down to Shenzhen with your shopping cart. Fill your cart with all the cheapest stuff you can make to make the bomb, and then we'll just sell the kit, you know, at a 20% markup, and we'll make money. Why would you give your competition your ideas and designs? Why would you give your competition, who is directly undercutting you, your designs? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Prusa did it for a while, and what happened? Everyone cloned them to hell. And they lost sales and thing. Okay, cool. I mean, just think about it. Think about if poor Bambu had to actually spend time and money and develop their own slicer instead of just taking Prusa slicer and putting a skin on. Or how many companies rely on just putting a skin on an open source slicer? How many companies rely on that? Like, there's open source-ish. Keep the stuff that makes your money locked down so that you can, you know, keep your employees employed. But release the stuff so that, hey, if you broke a part on your Prusa, here's the STL so you can replace that part. Okay? Like, there's a good middle ground, I think. There is a very valid middle ground between being fully open source and being Stratasys, okay? I think there really is that middle ground. The problem is, there are people on both ends of the spectrum that make it annoying to have that middle ground, okay? It's like politics, it's a horseshoe, okay? Where as you move further right and left, you actually become closer together, okay? And you become an asshat, okay? So it's like politics. So there are some people who are so open source that I have blocked them and muted them because it's just so bloody annoying. It's like, no, you need to release all your files. If we do this, our company will literally go under. Yes, but you need to release your files. So our company will go under and we'll lose all our profits, and companies will just undercut us and we'll go out of business, and I'll have to fire all my employees and they'll no longer have jobs. Yes, but you need to release your files. You're open source. You have to release your files. Like, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. Like, I think there is a good middle ground between the two. You can support right to prepare and all that while still keeping, you know, the secret sauce secret, okay? You don't need to give out the Krabby Patty secret formula when you're making hamburgers, when you're selling hamburgers, okay? So, yeah, I don't know. All I do know is this print is looking like not good. There are people that complain the BIOS and microcode for every chip in Linux isn't fully open and free to use. Cool. Firmware is closed source now. Well, I mean, Clipper's fully open source. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think there is a middle ground. But like every time I see somebody complain about the price of a Prusa, it's like, if you think if they could cut the price, okay? Because when you cut the price, you could sell more units, okay? I'm pretty sure there are bean counters and people that get paid way more than me, who are smarter than me when it comes to this, that have kind of figured out, hey, this is the price that we sell at to keep the lights on, okay? I'm pretty sure if they could cut the price of their printer $100 and sell enough units where that $100 price cut makes up the difference, because you make up what you make per sale now in volume, I'm pretty sure that might work. But who knows? I don't know the numbers. You don't know the numbers. Who knows? Maybe they're selling it at the only price that works because they've done the math. And if they go lower, they don't make enough money and the lights go out and they have to fire employees. Who knows? I'd be more concerned about my employees having, you know, a paycheck than what some commenter on the internet thinks. Because again, remember, the Mark IV is their best-selling printer ever in terms of like number of sales per like month. I think they're doing okay. It might not be the best printer for you, and that's okay. Nobody's forcing anyone to buy any printer unless you work for a company and like the boss, like, you have to buy this machine. Cool, whatever. But little Timmy, with his savings from his allowance, is not forced to buy any printer. So if little Timmy wants to save a little bit more and buy a Prusa, or not save as much and buy a Bambu A1, or, you know, wants to go crazy and buy a Pantheon, that's little Timmy's right to do. And you shouldn't be critiquing what they want unless they buy something dumb. Let's be honest. There are some printers of like, why did you buy that? But there's nothing wrong with a Prusa Mark IV or an XL. They're a little pricier, yeah, but they have features that some people want. And if those are the features you want, this is a proper tool changer. This does stuff you can't do on pretty much any other printer in the same price market, because it's a proper tool changer. Like, if you need a tool changer, this is your option. If you want to print multicolor prints, because you can't do true multi-material on a single nozzle setup, either the MMU3 or whatever, if you just want to print multicolor PLA prints, yeah, there's cheaper options. But you want to start printing stuff with like embedded TPU in it, okay? Well, you're going to need a tool changer or an IDEX. It is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. Why don't we all just drive around in bone stock Toyota Corollas, Honda Civics, and I don't know, F-150s? Why isn't there only 4 cars in the row? Why isn't there the cheapest truck, the cheapest car, the cheapest van, and the cheapest, like, you know, motorcycle? Why do we have options in vehicles? Who buys a Buick Enclave? Who goes, I want to buy a Buick Enclave? Out of all the vehicles in the world, I want to buy a Buick Enclave. I think those people are crazy. I would never buy a Buick Enclave. Yet they sell. People buy them. So obviously there's a market for it. And it's okay. It's okay. What printers are your worst? Any printer that, here's the thing, mechanically, printers are shit simple. There has been nothing new in 3D printing mechanics in like half a decade, easily. Yeah, there's probably some little stuff here and there, but let's be honest. Core XY has been Core XY for like 10 freaking years. Like, my V1, my bone stock V1 with a Clipper SoC added to it, moves as fast as a Bambu at 12 volt. 12 volt DRVs on a ramps, okay? An 8-bit ramps. All I've done was add an MCU to add an Orange Pi 0 to it, and it moves as fast as a Bambu. There really isn't a lot new in 3D printing. What's new is the firmware has gotten more efficient and better. The slicers have gotten a lot better. Filament is a lot more consistent, and we have a lot more quality of life improvements. But mechanically, there ain't much new under the sun. The newest thing, honestly, is the Magneto. The Magneto with the linear motors. And even then, that's niche. It's a pricier motion system for some benefits. So, why did I get rid of the SV08? Why would I keep it? It's an open air Voron clone that works worse than all my Vorons. Why would I keep it? I gave it away to somebody who'll put it to better use than me. Why would I keep an open air clone of something that it's not even as good as the original? Also, I can't do anything with it because all the parts are custom. So, yeah, I gave it away. I still have the extra gantry though. For some reason, you know, they sent the one they sent me had a pin that was too short that I fixed myself. They sent me a whole new gantry, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. The main point of a Voron is to print ABS properly, and it can't do that. The main point of a Voron is to print ABS properly, and it can't do that. Oh, the SV08. Yeah. No, the SV08 can print ABS if you buy the optional enclosure. So the cheap printer got more expensive because now I need to buy the enclosure that ships separately. So you got to pay separate duties and shipping and tax on the enclosure. And that's okay because they send you PLA parts for it. Unless they fix that. That's I don't know. The problem is, I'm not a huge fan of spending a lot of time developing add-ons and options and mods for a printer that you don't even know if it'll still be available on the market in 6 months. Hey, it's Tor. Okay, so Tor in our community here has an SV08. They spent $180 buying the optional enclosure for it. Now, is that $180 for the enclosure plus taxes and shipping? Or is that including taxes and shipping? But either way, $180, potentially more. And it came with PLA parts that failed. And then he reached out to them, and they sent him replacement parts in PLA. Tell me you don't understand the market without telling me you don't understand the market. It's 180 shipped. Okay, so you paid 180 and they gave you a bunch of PLA parts that failed. Because they designed the... You do know, like, they made a conscious decision to go, hey, we need these printed parts printed for the enclosure for our machine. What should we print them out of? I don't know, PLA. Yeah. You know what's a better enclosure for it? A roll of blue tape in the cardboard box the printer came in. There. I mean, it hasn't failed, but it's... Oh God, that... Did you hear that? I don't know if the noise canceling, I can hear it like dragging across it. How's everything else doing? Pantheon's doing good. The Bambu is doing okay. There's a few stringies on the Bambu though. We'll see. They don't have an enclosed printer. They probably, what is the cheapest filament? Honestly, that's how it is sometimes with some of these companies. Met with Stealth Changer. Stealth Changer looks interesting. It'd be nice when there's like proper kits for it. That's the thing. That's why I haven't really looked at it too much. Is I don't like fiddling with stuff that doesn't have like a proper kit. It's a struggle. People in the Bambu Discord saying the full-size A1 can't do ABS, and they think they still require a full thorax fly. Yeah. Can your nozzle hit 240 degrees Celsius safely? So if you have an all-metal hot end and your bed can hit 100, you can print ABS on it. That's it. That's all you need to print ABS. You need an all-metal hot end and a bed that can hit 100. If you have those two things, you can print ABS on any 3D printer. All you need to put it in is a freaking box. And I've shown that. I have a video series on my channel where I literally built the cheapest, shittiest printer I could. Let me pull it up here. It's one of my older series. I wish it did better. Videos. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. This is why I don't like doing videos. Honestly, this is why I hate doing videos. Because you spend...
Hello, in today's video, I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks so you can successfully print ABS at home.
The old intro. So this is my bonsai, okay? Wow, this is back in the old room before I had anything on the walls. So this is my bonsai. This is a 12 volt like garbage printer. I built it with all the spare parts I had. All I did was put it in a box. All I did was put it in a box.
Hello, and when it comes to layer printing,
like literally, all I did was just put it in a box and it prints ABS parts. Like this is so old, these are Mobius parts.
Really don't have any drafts.
But yeah, like, look at that.
If not, get yourself a deburring tool or even an
like it came out fine. That's a perfectly fine ABS part. Literally on the cheapest printer I could build. Clone V6, crappy extruder, direct drive extruder, 12 volt bed. Like literally just all you need to do to print ABS is you just put a cardboard box on it. That's it. ABS gives you a headache. Just put the printer in a room you're not in. Like, just put it in your basement or something. Or in my case, garage. Like, I used to have my printers used to be in a room in the basement. And what I did was the little foam, you know, the foam we use for the panels, I ran that around the door. And I have a little gasket at the bottom of the door. So when I'm printing in that room in the basement, I close the ceiling vent and I close the door. And that room is basically sealed. That's it. That's all I did. I couldn't smell it in the house. It was good. And now all my printers that I use regularly are in the garage. Even better. Put them in a closet. Put them in your bathroom. Put them in your bathroom. Turn the fan on. Like... Like when I printed my V2, even my V1, when I built my original Voron, it was a Voron V1. I built it using PETG parts I printed on a Modify Select Mini. After I got the printer built, all I did was covered in garbage bags. I literally just took a garbage bag, put it over the printer, and then printed the parts in ABS, and then rebuilt the printer with ABS parts. And then when I printed parts for my V2, because my V1 was unenclosed, it was open air. When I printed the ABS parts for my V2, guess what I did? I threw a towel over it. That's it. I just threw a towel over it. It worked. This is sounding horribly. This sounds so bad. Ugh. Like, where is it? I printed the parts for the Bambu here. Or not the Bambu, the... Where did I put them? Oh, they're buried back there. I printed a full set of replacement parts for this guy, the Prusa Mark IV, on the Mark IV, and its enclosure. They all came out beautifully in ABS. I'd love to hear from you on the Marathon IDEX. I have no idea what that even is. Marathon IDEX 3D printer. Formbot. Okay. It looks like a Vision Miner clone, maybe? I don't know. What does there say on it? Yeah, I hate this kind of motion system. Yeah, it looks like a Vision Miner clone. Yeah, that looks a lot like... Yeah, I don't know. It's a form bot, so... Why make a top hat that is smaller than the rest of the printer? Just make it the same size. What do you mean a top hat small? Oh, on that, I don't know. Cheaper. How the bad print is going. Here, let me turn off the noise canceling and the music once filter. Okay.
Waiting for the move. You're going to hear it drag across it. Ah. Yeah. TLDR, it don't sound too good. Has FormBot contributed to Voron? I have no idea.
Voron does not have any official arrangements with any companies, okay? There are a few companies that might occasionally donate through the donate button on the Voron website. Other than that, there is nothing official. Voron doesn't have any arrangements with any companies or anything. It's straight up, if they want to donate money to Voron, they donate money to Voron of their own accord. We don't publicize it. We don't like being used as some company's marketing wank. If they want to, they do. LVO has, but it's not a huge thing. It's like they do it of their own accord. Voron isn't designed to be profitable. It's a bunch of people having fun designing printers. Any money that comes into the Voron Design Dev Fund, which, for those that don't know, Voron Design. The only official way to donate money to Voron is through this little button right here. You click donate, and you donate. That's it. Beyond that, that button is there. Anyone can click that button. Anyone can donate whatever they want. That is the closest thing to any sort of arrangement Voron has with any company. Is, hey, if you want to click on the button donate, go ahead. What does that money get used for? Buying parts for development machines, booths at events, and incidentals for that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know what the difference is. Like, here's the thing. I'm not part of that part of the team at all. Technically, Voron is a company due to legal reasons because companies trying to steal the name and all that kind of bullshit over the years because you can't have nice things. So Voron technically is a company, but it's not designed, like, Voron isn't profitable. Nobody's making money off of it. Everyone on the team loses more money than they get. Put it that way. That's just, if they even get any, because money doesn't go out that way. It's used to buy stuff to develop Vorons, or like, you know, sponsoring the booth at Murph or Earth or Open Sauce or whatever. That's where the money goes, essentially. It's for like events. Any Voron swag for sale? I think there is a merch store, but it's like a shitty Teespring one, and it's not updated in forever. That shirt. This is a custom shirt. This was, we had a small batch of these shirts made for like Smurf or Rocky Mountain last year, I think. And then I tie-dyed mine because I accidentally spilled bleach on it. So I had some fun with it. Mark IV S arriving on the 26th. Nice. Did you buy it with my affiliate link? Hopefully you did. West 3D has Voron mouse pads. Yeah, there's a few there's a few companies that slap the Voron badge on stuff, but nothing's like official, I don't believe. Oh god, that sounds horrible. This sounds horrible. I'm surprised that hasn't been knocked off the bed yet. See, the problem is with the Pantheon has that common plate. The problem is the common plate is lined up with the bed. And then they put the handle here. So you can't really like see straight on the print. That's like one of the downsides. You can see from above and it looks really good. I'll post pictures of it all on Twitter when it's done. What are we printing? We're trying to see how these machines handle the Scandic plate, because Prusa with the Mark IV came out with this. So for those wondering, this that I printed, this is not like baked in G-code. I sliced this. I sliced this with their normal slicer settings and printed this. So like this isn't like some custom, you know, tweak. This is sliced using the normal slicer settings that they go, hey, here's our printer, here's the default profile, it comes out with this. So if the default profile on a Prusa can do this, then obviously the better machines, according to the internet, should do better. No supports. No supports. You just print it as is. Like here's another one printed on the Mark IV. And here's another model I printed on the Mark IV. Again, no supports. Like that staircase printed without supports. So it's like, okay, cool. Now let's see how these machines with like blowimatrons and current air do. And that's the Adventurer. It'll be interesting to see how the Bambu handles it. The Bambu is looking like the Adventurer. Has the Magneto? I don't know. I got to put some new parts in my Magneto. So right now, not too good. Yeah, the staircase is a really cool print. It's a dice tower. Like it's a dice tower print. But like this was printed without support. So it just, like the whole staircase was just printed without support. This filament was a little clumpy. I don't know how to say it. This filament, it's a is this silk filament? I don't even know what filament is this. It's a semi-translucent. PET. Oh shit, that's why. Okay. Okay. So this was printed on a Mark IV with a PLA profile in PETG. I did not realize this was PETG. So if you want to know how the Mark IV handles printing PETG at PLA temps, there you go. That explains why I was having buildup on the nozzle. This is PETG. I did not realize that. Okay, that explains a lot. They kept having like buildup on the nozzle, and it would like come off, and like all the parts like came off. Like, you know how you get that little blob that you can just like break off with your finger? I had a few of these on there, and I'm like, why am I getting stringy? Oh, that's a stringy filament, whatever. But yeah, this was PETG printed at PLA's profile and settings, because I'm a dummy and I did not realize it was a PETG. Cool. I did not realize that was PETG. I had no idea. I'm like, I just grabbed it. I'm like, oh, it's a nice blue, because I used it for the. I wanted a shiny blue for the interior of this, right? So I'm like, oh, I'll just, I'll print it. Oh, yeah, this is a blue. I'll throw it on. Yeah. Okay. YOLO. Ooh. Okay, let me just make sure this is actually PLA too. Just making sure. Just making sure. PLA Galaxy Green. Yeah, that is PLA. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. Normally PETG at PLA temps is a no-go, but if you notice, PLA temps have gone up. People, I think one of the biggest problems people have with PLA is the fact that PLA, you don't print it at 190. You should be printing PLA like with the modern filaments, the modern resins, 220 up. Even the Mark IV, the PLA temperature on the Mark IV is like 230. With how fast printers are, you need to be printing PLA hot. And I think a lot of people are still kind of stuck on that like 200-degree temperature, and it's causing jams. I think that's where a lot of people run into issues with PLA, is they're printing too fast, too cold. I think that's kind of a thing. Because we used to print 190, 200, because printers were slow and they had shit cooling. So you printed slow and just hot enough to melt it. But now that printers are going fast, you actually do need to print hot. Yeah, 225, 235, yeah. So, what time are we at? We got 40 minutes left. If you have not entered for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, every stream we give away a spool of Polymaker. I'm just looking at the print trying. We give away a spool of Polymaker filament. Link in the video description. Enter for your chance. And then while you're down there, if you want to help support the channel, the content I create and the things I do, consider becoming a channel member, Patreon supporter, liking the smash button, or just subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. This is looking like a very weird salad. It's very leafy. Do I still have the Vez printer? The VZBot? Yeah, I got the VZBot. Yeah, I got the VZBot 330 down there. Looks like we need support. It doesn't need support. This is an overhang test. This is how the Mark IV did it. Prusa Mark IV. Straight off the printer. No support. So we have a standard to work towards. Channel needs more support than this channel. Well, I found out why streamers don't take vacations. Put it that way. Oh God, that is looking so ugly. Like, part of me wants to let it finish, and part of me wants to put it out of its misery. How hot is this anyways? It's printing 220 on the nozzle, 50 on the bed. That is ugly. That is an ugly, ugly print. Fan at 100%? I think so. I don't know if I can adjust that. Yep, fans are both at 100%. The part cooling fan and the current air fan are both at 100%. What? That's the wrong screen. Ah, dang it! We could have watched a rocket launch. Forgot there was a SpaceX launch today. Oh well. When is the next stream to carry on the four-wheel drive? Tomorrow. Usually if I'm doing a build series, I will only do one stream a week. So this is a Saturday night. So tomorrow night. Yep, this file's on printables. It's just Scandic, S-C-A-N-D-I-C. Just search Scandic and it'll show up. Bill S, thank you for becoming a member. Cheers and appreciate it. Had a rare, yeah, that's the thing. Like, one of these days I do want to make my way down to Florida to watch a launch. The cool thing with SpaceX is they launch like 2 or 3 times a week, so it's actually kind of, it's the easiest time than ever to watch a rocket launch. I do want to see one day in person, but I'm not holding my breath. Because why would I want to go to Florida? Does the side close? Well, put it this way. Both sides look bad, but the side closest to the fan looks less bad. Should make it for Artemis. Artemis would be cool. Like, don't get me wrong, SLS bad, but it would still be cool to watch. Don't come here, it's awful. I know Florida's awful. I talk to Grant every now and then. Florida sucks. In probably a couple years, I'm going to take the family down there to do our once-in-a-lifetime Disney World trip, and I'm going to call it a day. Swamp, yeah. Yeah, poor Grant. Disney World. Isn't it Disney World or Disneyland? I can never remember the two. The one in Florida. Hit up Epic Universal. That would be older. Like, the plan is to go twice. When the little guy's like a little younger, we'll do Disneyland or Disney World. I can never remember which one's which. I'll go to Disney in Florida when the little guy's a little younger. And then when he's like a little older, then we'll do Universal. So I think Universal makes more sense for a little, like a young teen than a child. Land is Anaheim, world is Florida. Okay. Yeah, so it's Disney World. Have you ever tried a Uke electric unicycle? I mean, I've ridden Segways. I've ridden Segways. You guys can't hear it because I have the noise canceling enabled, but this thing is just crunchy. It is so crunchy doing this. This is such a... How's the X1C looking? Well, I'd show you a camera, but for some reason my camera doesn't want to talk to Orca Slicer. But it is better than this. Not as good as this. And nowhere near as good as the Prusa. What's my favorite crunchy cereal? Captain Crunch, but I don't buy it too often because it's not good for you. Oh, this print's going to be going for a while. We're only 30% in. This print was an estimated like 5 hours on this machine, like 3 hours on the Bambu, and like 3 hours on the Positron. Yeah, I'm surprised the print hasn't come off the print bed yet either. I kind of wanted to. I need that for the B-roll shot, because part of the reason I'm doing this is because I want to... I think the video I want to do on the Prusa Mark IV isn't just going to be about the Prusa Mark IV. It's going to be buy the printer you want for the use case you want. Don't just buy it because that's what everyone tells you to buy it, kind of thing. And part of that is I want to have footage of a bunch of different printers trying this model. So I want to get this failed so I can get a B-roll of that. Captain Crunch is so good. I love me Captain Crunch. But it's only good for that like 2 to 3 minutes after you pour the milk in. Because once it gets soggy, it gets So. Where's the music? Playing in living room speaker. Why are you playing in living room speaker? This computer. And why are you playing that? Okay. It just went to a random song in a different speaker in my house. My wife was probably like, why are we listening to music? Unless she told it to play music inside and it took over. That's... Can you hear music? Okay, yeah, we got music. We're good. Yeah, it's ugly. Peanut butter Captain Crunch? I don't think I've ever seen that. We only get like the normal stuff up here in Canada. What should I make for dinner? I've got chicken thighs. I've got boneless chicken thighs defrosted. And I need to figure out what to make for dinner. I try Nutri-Grain. I mean, like the bars? Yeah, Nutri-Grain bars. We buy them. The little guy. Also, another reason, like, I don't buy a lot of peanut... Like, I buy peanut butter. Like, just peanut butter. But I don't buy peanut butter stuff. Because school allergies. So. Fajitas? What's a fajita? Butter chicken? Not a huge fan of butter chicken. Hibachi chicken. Might just make some chicken bacon wraps. Do chicken bacon wraps. I don't have an Instapot. I have a slow cooker, but I don't have an Instapot. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The Pantheon's pulling this off pretty good. The Bambu is starting to make clicky noises. The Bambu is sounding crunchy. So, lemon pepper chicken. I could do that. I might just like fry up the chicken, put some sauce on it, and then oh, I got honey garlic sauce. Honey garlic chicken with rice. I'm gonna do honey garlic chicken with rice. Yeah, I'm gonna do honey garlic chicken with rice. That's what I'm gonna do. Honey garlic chicken with rice. That'll do. That sounds good. Hobby hands. I don't really agree with that because, like, I know kids that have peanut allergies at like 2 years old. Like the first time they tried peanut butter, they had a reaction. Like, I just think we're more aware of it. Like back in the old days, you just dealt with it. It's like, you know, back in our day, we used to ride around in the back of pickup trucks without seat belts and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, and kids died a lot back then. I think it's just we're more aware of stuff now. It's like, yeah, you had that one kid when I went to high school, when I went to grade school, we had one kid we weren't allowed to eat peanut butter around because he was definitely allergic, and we just didn't eat peanut butter around him. Now they're like, yeah, let's play it safe and just not have peanut butter in school at all because these are kids and kids are dumb. Survival bias. Yes, exactly, survival bias. It's like the argument where you see like, oh, back in my day, autism wasn't a thing. You know, it's only a modern thing because modern vaccines. It's like, yeah, and there's like a whole bunch of like 60, 70-year-old adults who are really into model trains. Like model trains are a thing, and it's a lot of older adults who are really into model trains and painting them and arranging them and doing all kinds of pretending. Yeah, autism totally wasn't a thing 50 years ago. Totally wasn't. Like, just because it wasn't a diagnosed thing back then doesn't mean it wasn't a thing. It just, yeah, that guy was just kind of weird. We did exit. Yeah, remember, everyone who's in charge of everything nowadays, right? your older government officials. Remember, like there are every Western government, or actually every government, is full of old people who don't want to give up power. Remember, all those people grew up with lead paint in their houses and were huffing lead exhaust fumes from gas. Remember how we banned lead and everything because it completely screws your brain up? And funnily enough, about 18 years after we banned all lead and stuff, like leaded gasoline, leaded paint, crime rates started dropping because it finds out if you're exposed to lead as an infant and a young child, it increases your increases anger response, and increases you're more likely to be brash, you're more likely to be violent, you're more likely to be, you know, don't have patience. Like growing up exposed to lead messes up your brain a lot. Those are the people currently in charge of our governments and our companies right now. They all grew up on lead. All the boomers grew up with lead. So, yeah. And then, oh yeah, don't forget our good friend asbestos. Now it's microplastics. I know. I'm 40% ABS, baby. Ancient Rome had lead. Okay, you want to know the funny thing? That was fine. Guess what? Flint, Michigan had lead water pipes. They were fine. You could do lead water pipes because as the lead oxidizes, it builds up a film on it that actually insulates the water from the lead. Okay? So lead pipes are safe as long as they have that build-up corrosion on the inside that basically, like aluminum, you know how aluminum oxidizes pretty much instantly, and that oxidation protects the aluminum from the oxygen in the air? Lead pipe, same thing. So what happened in Flint, Michigan, they changed from using, I believe it was, don't quote me if I'm wrong, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but basically what happened, they were using like lake water in their pipes, and then they changed from using like basically untreated water to now a treated water source. And the treated water had stuff in it to treat the water that also got rid of that corrosion on the lead pipes. So now you have lead exposed to the water. Instead of having that protective layer of oxidation or corrosion or whatever that insulated the lead from the water, the new water basically got rid of all that. And then we had lead in the water. Also, they had low lead cups and plates. That had a bigger impact than the lead pipes, because when you're eating off the plate, you're getting part of the plate in your food. So that's where the lead poisoning came from. It wasn't really the water pipes, because the water pipes, they insulated themselves. Plus, you're constantly running fresh water through. So. Carbon fiber filament. Prusa put out a thing. Basically, it's the shitty carbon fiber filament. As long as you buy good carbon fiber filament, you're okay. It's the really no-name, white label, crappy, cheap carbon fiber filament is the issue. Prusa put out an entire research study on their filament. And they're like, yeah, it's safe. That's another thing you see Prusa do that you don't see other companies. When was the last time you saw other companies put out like white papers on their stuff? Like, hey, we tested this to make sure it's safe. Like they just got, where is it here? Where is it here? Let me find it here. Where is it? Where is it? There you go. Look at this. They just put out the Mark IVS just got a UL Underwriter Certificate Green Guard. They spent the time and money to submit their printer printing PETG to make sure that it is actually like safe and like it passes certification. And it's like, there you go. So printing PETG on your Prusa Mark IVS, certified for low chemical emissions. How many other printer companies have bothered to even do that? How many other printer companies have bothered to like do health checks on their printer? Like, most companies don't even give a crap. They don't even, like, they have shitty wiring in their printers, let's be honest. So it's like, they barely do quality checks. I know! Or get a slicer profile that actually works. And to be honest, this machine actually, I don't know where the prints went. Where did I put them? I had some prints with this machine. I don't know where I put them. Yeah. Like, this machine doesn't not print bad. Like, we have done some prints on here. It does print good. Like, this machine does print good. These were all printed in the same profile as this. Okay? It's just, when you push it right to the edge, it starts to fail before other machines. I'm going to be using this print test on a lot of machines going forward, because this is like the ability to do a 70-degree overhang without support and it come out pretty damn good. Like this is the closest thing to like a bad print I got off of it, just up here. And honestly, considering it was like 35 degrees Celsius in the garage, I think that might have played a part in it. But like, yeah. What are the overhang settings? You can look them up yourself. You could download Prusa Slicer and pull and add the Mark IV's profile and take a look at them. Ooh, there we go. FTC bans fake online reviews. Inflated social media influence rules take effect in October. Using fake reviews such as those generated by AI and other misleading practices. Nice. That's good to see. That's good to see. Was it a Prusa Mark IV? Yeah. All these test prints I've been showing in blue are on the Mark IV's. If the extruder principle is the same, how can a printer be safer if plastic has been melted and extruded? Should it be equal, doesn't it? Well, yeah, here's the thing. Like, all printers, like, yes, if Prusa is certified to be, you know, green or whatever with PETG, in theory, if you use that exact same filament on another printer, then yes, that printer as well should be good. Okay, because it's the filament, right? It's like saying, okay, this gasoline in this car is good, so if, you know, put in another modern car, it should be good. The thing is, what sets Prusa apart, they are the ones who actually bothered to do the study. They're the ones that actually bothered to, like, look into that stuff. Like, they put out a whole study about their entire, like, green ecosystem within their company, and, like, the percentage of recycled material they use, the percentage of in-house production they use. Like, they put out white papers on stuff all the time. So, fake review ban is going to be a censorship. Okay. Hey, look, an American. If I don't like it, it's fake. No, there's so much fake reviews already out there. Like, there's so much fake. There's a reason I don't even bother doing reviews, because there's no point in doing a review. Because if I put out my honest opinion, I spend 2-3 weeks checking something, and I get a couple thousand views. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Unless you're a massive YouTuber, or you're doing it for fun. Doing review videos is literally like bottom tier content, because it just doesn't get views. You might luck out and be like the one review for something that is like the most popular one, but unless you're like a big channel, like doing a generic review video on a 3D printer is kind of like a lot of time for not a lot back. Look at whatchamacallit, Short Circuit. They just did a video on the Prusa Mark IV's. Ready? Prusa Mark IV's. So who's the first video to come out with the Prusa Mark IV? You ready? Look. So Tom spent, I don't know how long, making a 10-minute video. Prusa has their video. I don't know why we got an MBR video here. Oh, he's talking about that. Like, all these people put a lot of time into making a Prusa video, Mark IV's. This is a 25-minute video on the Prusa Mark IV's. Who has the most views, though? Short Circuit, with a 5-minute video where they just took it out of the box and talked about it for a couple minutes and read an ad read in it. This video is the most popular Mark IV's video. It probably took the least amount of work, and it's probably the most profitable video. That's the problem with being a reviewer. So, The comment section on that video for the Mark IV is poisonous. Let's laugh at people on the internet. This is Tanyan. He's a nice guy. They're calling him Chad Linus. Okay. Actually, what's today? Today's Thursday. In a week, I'll be over there. Why is everyone just calling him Attractive Linus? Everyone's just calling him Linus. More 3D printing. We'll love to see a video about 3D printing. Other 3D printing videos. So for those that don't know, Short Circuit is LTT's unboxing channel. It's not meant to be a review channel. The whole point of this channel is for just unboxings and first looks. Like, that's the whole point of the Short Circuit channel. So. It's not a review. Some brand is blatant paid reviews. Well, that's not even a paid review because they have a sponsor spot, but the sponsor is a different company. That video is just Prusa going, same as me. Here's a video. Here's a printer. Do something with it. That's what they did with me. They're like, here's the printer. Do something with it. I'm like, cool. He dyed his hair because of D-Brand. I think D-Brand doing that. Yeah, everything on that channel is just unboxing. It's not a review channel. Does the room you get in get uncomfortably hot? It is currently 32 degrees Celsius out here with 50% humidity. If that is warm for you, then that's warm. Yeah, he shaved the beard off because he had like some facial treatment done or something. Speaking of D-Brand, so I was actually looking at D-Brand because I was going to get a skin for my laptop. And I was going to like, oh, hey, I'll get a Canadian skin, right? Canuck creator. D-Brand's a Canadian company. For those that don't know, they're out of Toronto. Yeah, they don't make a Canadian themed skin. I was like so disappointed that they don't have like a Maple Leaf skin. So, yeah, a little disappointed there. I'm still surprised this is still going. The Bambu one is looking like shit. The Pantheon one's looking good. Again, these are all being printed with their stock profile because this is what the company said is their stock profile. That's the whole point. Yeah, I could probably get, you know, this one would look a lot better. The one on the Bambu would look a lot better if I slowed it down. But Bambu went, or FlashForge went, or the company went, here is our profile. This is what we gave you. Use it. And I'm going, okay, I'm going to use it. This sounds so horrible. It sounds so horrible. It's just chunky. It's so chunky. Look at that. Are you going to print on a Voron with the basic Orca slicer? Do I have any Vorons loaded with PLA? I think Toasty Boy's online. Tall Boy online? I think Tall Boy's online. Or actually, I don't know which machine's online. Are you online? Are you loaded with Filament? You're loaded with Filament. Yeah. Let's do the Trident. Let's do the Trident. We're on Trident 350. You're ABS. We're on generic ABS, standard settings. Slice. Oh, it's a Voron. Voron's print ABS. Is that on the bed? Yeah, that's on the bed. Okay. G-code. Scanned it plate, 4 hours. Printers. Big Papa Joey P. Upload and print. There we go. I gotta move some stuff off here so I can get some light in here so I can actually see what's going on. That printer's dark. There's like no light above it. So yeah, we'll let that run in ABS and see what happens. Do I have the full kit on the VZBot? No, the VZBot that I have down here is the all-wheel drive metal CNC part kit from Mello. I don't have the side curtain fans on. I did not put the side curtain fans in it. Two reasons. One, I think they're not as good as people think they are. Two, it prints ABS. You don't need side curtain for ABS. In an apocalypse, what printer would I keep? Are we talking... Okay, what kind of apocalypse are we talking here? Like, are we talking like, here is the printer, you got no replacement parts, you got what you got. In that case, I'm taking the Prusa. Less parts than a Core XY to break, and you can reprint stuff quite easily. So I would take a Prusa. I would reprint all the parts immediately in like ABS or some other tougher material. Keep them aside, so if a part fails, I can swap it in. And it's a pretty simple design. It doesn't require Wi-Fi. I can run everything in a bubble. Yeah. I would take the Prusa. I would take a Prusa Mark IVS over anything else. Now, that's as a base. Once you start adding some variables, am I in a location where, like, once you start adding some variables, that may change, but just as the generic, you know, this is the one-line description, I would take a Prusa. Really, filament ran out. Well, then all printers run out of filament. But no, we're gonna let this finish. We're gonna let this finish. Do I still have the rat rig? I do. It's downstairs. I don't really use it too much. It's loud. And it's a smaller printer. Like, as the XOL. The XOL is working fine. I haven't really used it a bunch. But I haven't really been printing on my Vorons much. But the XOL is fine. It's downstairs. I built that. We got it back up and running. I put it back downstairs, back where it was. I did a few test prints to make sure everything was good, and that's it. So. See, Pantheon's doing really good. That one's coming out really clean. That is coming out ugly as shit. Actually, I should probably make sure that... Is that spool even loaded? Yeah, that spool's loaded. There we go. There we go. Had to make sure that the spool that was feeding that machine is actually free. The Pantheon is CFP ETG. That is so ugly. Oh, we got 6 minutes left. If you have not entered for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, we're going to be doing the draw in 6 minutes. Could you just show as a peek from Bambu? What do you mean show as a peek? What? Well, I can't show the Bambu because the webcam in there doesn't want to work right now. So. Oh, the FlashForge is looking uglier. But it's also further along. The Bambu, as it moves along, is getting worse. Like, the Bambu isn't as bad as the FlashForge, but it's still curling like mad. That's because it doesn't have enough directed cooling, essentially. And about CF filament leaving micro splinters. Yep, that video's old. Yeah, I saw it. I'm not worried. It turns out, as long as you use good filament, you're okay. Prusa put out a study on it where they check theirs. So basically, any filament that's CF from a brand that I would consider on the same quality tier as Prusa, I'm not worried about. This filament, I'm not worried about at all. Pay-per-view king of DIY versus other YouTubers. I have Oz Crow. I have no idea what that sentence even means. I have no idea what that even means. What is? Have I heard about the pay-per-view king of DIY versus other YouTubers? I have no idea what you are referencing at all. What other filament brands are good? Anything good quality. Like it's remember, most filament brands don't make their own resin. They buy bulk resin and then they just run it through an extruder that turns it into filament. So I like Prusament. I like Polymaker, obviously. Sparta 3D's Canadian company. Jesse Filament, which is now Printed Solid, which is part of Prusa now. Just get good filament. I'm in Canada, so there's like a bunch of companies in the States that make good filament that I just don't buy because of shipping costs. Like, just buy good filament. Just buy good filament. Don't, if it's unlabeled or from some name that you've never heard of before on Amazon for 10 bucks a spool, you might luck out. It might be shit. So, which one on the Trident? The Trident is a bone stock stealth burner with tap. The Trident is a bone stock stealth burner with a Galileo 2. Actually, what extruder's in there? I can't remember if it's Galileo 2 or Clockwork 2. I think it's Galileo 2. Anyways, with like a, I don't even know the extruder on it, or the hot end on it. Anyways, it's a stock stealth burner for cooling, and it's also printing ABS. So. .3DX Tech. I've used 3DX Tech filament a few times. It's good stuff, but I don't buy it because it's expensive to get in Canada. Tips on mods for Voron 2.4 350. You've got Clicky Clacky, Tap, Cam Bus, Roll and Rocker. I'm considering. I don't know. Do what you want. I'm of the opinion, build it stock and you start using it. And then if you start running into deficiencies that a mod could fix, then do it. Like, you don't need to do a mod just to do a mod. Most of my Vorons are stock or near stock. The only mods that most of them are running, I got Tap on most of them, or Clicky. I've got a few different extruders and hot end types, but for the most part, my Vorons are stock. I don't really go crazy with the mods. Like, the only modded, like, tricked out Voron I got is the one I'm building right now with the CNC parts from Seavor. Matter Hackers ABS. I've used some of it in the past. It's okay, but it's been a couple years since I bought any. Again, they're in the US. I don't buy stuff from the US to use because I get stuff cheaper in Canada. So, does carbon fiber and filament help with overhangs? It does. It helps with overhangs because it makes the filament less likely to warp. Because it's more, it stiffens the filament essentially. It stiffens it. What do I think about Big Tree Tech Eddy? I think it's okay. I haven't used one yet though. The problem is I put Tap in all my Vorons. So I would have to go back to an Eddy probe. Yeah. I haven't put Tap in any machines yet because I don't have a machine I can easily drop it in. CAN bus. A few of them have CAN bus. Personally, I'm not a fan of CAN bus. I'd rather go with the USB tool head. But okay, we got 1 minute left, then we'll do the giveaway. Where did the music go? Come on, music. Okay, so we're gonna do the giveaway, and then we'll call it there, because I'm getting hungry. I am getting hungry. See, I miss this YouTube. Remember when YouTube was, I spent 24 hours straight encased in concrete? I miss YouTube. I miss this YouTube. Okay, where is the giveaway? Let's do the giveaway. So if you did not enter for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, you will have another chance tomorrow. that. Names. So much YouTube drama. Yeah, but it's I don't know. Sometimes I'm a drama gremlin. I don't know. Do we still refer to you as Nero? You can if you want. I mean, my name's Taylor, if you want to actually call me by my name. Clear, open, name. So we got 345 people today. Let's go with multi-lane madness bots. Okay, so how this works, some of them are first to the finish, some of them are closest to the middle, but either way, whoever wins, wins. Good luck to Tyler Bell. Good luck, Tyler Bell. If you happen to win, you will win the same prize as whoever wins, because there's only one winner. Good luck. Remember, exclamation mark zoom zoom makes you go faster. Wow, go ZW! Go ZW! Oh, you died. Goodbye, 3D Experiments. Oh, Tom Taylor Jr. You are flying. Where are you at? You. Wow. Oh, there goes another one. Oh, what? These people might go faster. Ooh. This is going to be interesting. This is going to get interesting. Oh, you've lost all your momentum, though. You've lost all your momentum. Oh, you're stuck. Come on, Tom. Come on, Tom. You gonna make it? You gonna make it through? Come on. Oh, you've lost all your momentum, though. Oh, somebody might sneak up on you. Oh, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna get interesting. Hey, it's Tor! Oh, shoot! Oh, shoot! Oh, shoot! Oh, shoot! Oh, hey, it's Tor one! Tom Taylor Jr., you lost all your momentum. You were in the lead and you just lost it all. So congratulations, hey, it's Tor. You have won yourself a spool of filament from Polymaker. Yes way, Tor. Yes way. Okay. Okay, cool. So Tor, you will get an email from me after the stream ends with information on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. So congratulations. Golf claps in chat. Golf claps in chat. So we're gonna call it there. Again, this was just a follow-up stream on the adventure. I wanted to, it's nice that we know that it'll now work through Orca Slicer or Prusa Slicer, or sorry, Orca Slicer. I'm still kind of miffed about no web UI. I'm going to send them an email and be like, hey, why don't we have a web UI? Like, I want to get their official reason why they don't have a web UI. And then I will post pictures of how these different printers handle the overhang test. And it's going to be interesting. Tomorrow's stream, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be continuing on with the Seaboard build. Yeah, so that'll be tomorrow. So again, shout out to FlashForge for sending this printer over for testing and evaluation. I'm not being paid, words and opinion are my own, blah, 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 usual YouTube disclosure. Shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament we gave around this stream and every stream. Links for all of them and more in the description. Some of them are affiliate links, and some of them, like the Gamer Subs link, use code Canuck and save 10% off your order. It's good stuff. And lastly, for those that donate to the channel, gifted memberships to others, or became members of the channel yourself, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create without your continued support. You make it all possible. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, smash the subscribe button and the like button and all that other YouTube stuff I'm supposed to say. We're gonna call it there. I'm gonna go make some chicken. I'm thinking, yeah, garlic chicken. Honey garlic chicken, I think. Sounds good. Anyways, calling it there. Be safe out there. Wash your hands, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.